The story begins with a narrator reading from a fairy tale book about a princess locked away in a distant castle, guarded by a fearsome fire-breathing dragon who has defeated every knight sent to rescue her. The scene then shifts to Shrek, an antisocial ogre who lives alone in a swamp and enjoys his quiet life, spending his time scaring away villagers and intruders who wander onto his land. Elsewhere, fairy tale creatures are being rounded up and sold by soldiers in exchange for coins. Among them is a talkative donkey who manages to escape and runs into Shrek. When Shrek frightens the soldiers away, Donkey insists on staying with him, even though Shrek tries repeatedly to scare him off. Donkey is just one of many fairy tale creatures who have been exiled or sold by the short-tempered ruler, Lord Farquaad of Duloc, in an effort to make his kingdom appear perfect. As a result, these creatures unintentionally end up taking refuge in Shrek's swamp. Angered and overwhelmed by the number of fairy tale creatures invading his swamp and disturbing his peace, Shrek decides to confront Lord Farquaad and demand that the creatures be moved elsewhere. Although he tries to convince someone else to go with him, only Donkey volunteers. Reluctantly, Shrek allows Donkey to accompany him, since Donkey is the only one who knows the way to Duloc. Meanwhile, Lord Farquaad is seen interrogating the gingerbread man in an attempt to find out where the remaining fairy tale creatures are hiding. His interrogation is interrupted when soldiers arrive with the magic mirror, which informs Farquaad that he must marry a princess in order to become king. The mirror presents him with three choices: Cinderella, Snow White, and Princess Fiona. Farquaad randomly selects Princess Fiona, who is imprisoned in a castle guarded by a dragon. Unwilling to rescue her himself, Farquaad organizes a tournament, promising the winner the privilege of completing the task on his behalf. Welcome to Sandy's Timeline. Today, we're covering an all-time classic animated film, Shrek. As usual, don't forget to subscribe so we can keep growing and bring you more content like this. When Shrek and Donkey arrive in Duloc, they interrupt the middle of a tournament. Lord Farquaad announces that whoever manages to kill Shrek will win the competition. However, Shrek and Donkey defeat Farquaad's knights with ease. Amused by the outcome, Farquaad declares them the champions and agrees to relocate the fairy tale creatures and hand over the deed to Shrek's swamp, on the condition that Shrek rescues Princess Fiona. Shrek accepts the deal, even though Donkey finds it amusing and somewhat ridiculous that Shrek has to complete a dangerous task just to reclaim what was his in the first place. And so, the journey begins. Shrek and Donkey travel by day and make camp at night until they finally reach their destination. Standing between them and the castle is a lake of molten lava, which they must cross using a rough, old-looking bridge. It is here that we learn Donkey is terrified of heights, but Shrek forces him to face his fear and cross anyway. Once inside the castle, the two split up to search for a way to reach the tallest tower, where the princess is likely being held. During this search, Donkey encounters the dragon, who ambushes them and sends Shrek crashing into the room where Princess Fiona is imprisoned. Meanwhile, the dragon corners Donkey, but he manages to distract and calm her with constant compliments. Elsewhere, Fiona is shocked by Shrek's lack of traditional romance and is confused by what kind of knight doesn't slay the dragon before rescuing a princess, which goes against everything she believes about fairy tales. Shrek eventually reunites with Donkey, and they escape the castle together, rescuing Donkey from the dragon, who is revealed to be female and has fallen in love with him. After finally calming down, Fiona insists that Shrek remove his helmet so they can complete the rescue with a true love's kiss, believing him to be her destined knight. However, Shrek and Donkey laugh, and Shrek reveals that he is actually an ogre. Shocked and upset, Fiona refuses to return to Duloc, demanding that Lord Farquaad come in person to rescue her, as the fairy tale is supposed to happen. Ignoring her protests, Shrek carries Fiona with him anyway. That night, Fiona insists they stop and set up camp before nightfall. Afterward, she locks herself away in a cave, choosing to stay alone. During this time, Shrek opens up to Donkey, admitting that he became antisocial because he grew tired of being judged and feared simply for how he looks. This moment deepens their bond and shows the beginning of a genuine friendship. Unbeknownst to Shrek, Fiona overhears the conversation and begins to see him in a new light, becoming much kinder toward him. The next day, Robin Hood and his band of merry men confront the trio, but Fiona easily defeats them in physical combat. Shrek is impressed by her strength, and the two begin to grow closer, forming a genuine connection and enjoying each other's company. As they approach Duloc, Shrek and Fiona make excuses to spend a little more time together, agreeing to continue their journey to the castle the next morning. Shrek even invites Fiona to visit his swamp someday. As the sun sets, Fiona takes shelter in a nearby windmill for the night. Noticing the growing bond between them, Donkey urges Shrek to confess his feelings. However, Shrek struggles to believe that a princess could ever truly care for an ogre. Hoping to help, Donkey goes alone to speak with Fiona at the windmill, where he discovers her secret. She transforms into an ogress at night. Fiona explains that she was cursed as a child, to live as a human by day and an ogress by night, and that only a true love's kiss can break the spell and reveal her true form. Meanwhile, Shrek works up the courage to confess his feelings, but overhears Fiona calling herself an ugly beast. Believing she is talking about him, Shrek becomes hurt and angry and leaves. The next morning, he returns with Lord Farquaad. Confused and heartbroken by Shrek's sudden coldness, Fiona reluctantly agrees to marry Farquaad and asks that the wedding take place before sunset. Shrek sends Donkey away and returns to his now empty swamp, only to realize that without Fiona, he feels deeply unhappy. The next day, Donkey returns and confronts Shrek, scolding him for jumping to conclusions. He explains that Fiona was not referring to Shrek when she called herself an ugly beast, though he keeps Fiona's true secret to himself. Realizing his mistake, Shrek reconciles with Donkey. Determined to fix things, Donkey summons the dragon whom he had reunited with earlier, and together they race to Duloc to stop the wedding. Shrek bursts into the ceremony just before it is completed and confesses his true feelings for Fiona. As the sun sets, Fiona transforms into an ogress in front of everyone. Horrified and furious, Lord Farquaad orders Shrek to be executed and Fiona to be imprisoned once again, declaring himself king. However, their fate is quickly reversed when Donkey arrives riding the dragon, who crashes the ceremony and devours Farquaad. With Farquaad gone, Shrek and Fiona share a true love's kiss, breaking Fiona's curse. Although she remains an ogress, Shrek reassures her that she is beautiful just the way she is. The film ends with Shrek and Fiona getting married in the swamp, surrounded by fairy tale creatures, before heading off on their honeymoon, putting a perfect twist on the traditional fairy tale ending. And that wraps up our recap of Shrek, a fairy tale that flipped the script and showed us that heroes don't have to look perfect. Love doesn't follow rules, and being yourself is the real happy ending. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Sandy's Timeline, and share your thoughts in the comments. What's your favorite Shrek moment? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next timeline.